Blood Boxing After Dark. Blue Blood Blocks Boxing After Dark. Another episode of Blue Blood Boxing After Dark. We are going to talk about what took place, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, because I'm seeing a lot of people already, since this fight was made between Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter. Once this fight was made between Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter, Phil J 508, my brother, a lot of people are already starting to talk about how come this fight could get made between Jonathan 97. What's going on? Taneem Marie, peace bless Queen. How you doing today? I'm seeing a lot of people tonight. How you doing tonight, Queen? I'm seeing a lot of people already starting to talk about Pierre Ali. What's going on? How come Shawn Porter could cross the other side of the street and Errol Spence can't? Okay, how come Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter could get made and Errol Spence fight can't? How come Leo said it? What's going on? Jason Williams, Sports Red 357, 88 Sports Talk, Quincy Quintent, what's going on? D Griggs, DePaul Turner, what's going on? Brian Taylor, what's going on? Davis, what's going on? So, Reg Loke, my brother, what's going on? So I'm seeing a lot of people already saying, Scoop Newsworthy, DeAndre Carey, Drumline, Drumming for Life, what's going on? Ahmed Muhammad, Kevin Lyle Sr., my brother, what's going on? Breezy Cool, X Krypton, what's going on? So I'm already seeing a lot of people already starting to place blame. Jay Lynn, peace bless Queen, how you doing today? Kevin Price, what's going on? Solomon Overhead, what's going on? So I'm already starting to see a lot of people already saying, see, Errol Spence could have made the fight with Terence Crawford. Errol Spence don't want to fight Terence Crawford. Errol Spence could cross the other side of the street and he's not wanting to. Camille Z, what's going on? Heartless Production, my brother, what's going on? Oh, man, there go my brother. Wow. Wow. My brother, Charles Edward Cheese. My brother, salute to my brother, Charles Edward Cheese, in the super chat, dropping that 500 on your boy Blue in the super chat. Salute to my brother, Charles Edward Cheese, dropping that 500 on your boy Blue in the super chat. He said, y'all ain't watching this game? Yeah, I was watching it, but I had to do this episode of Blue Blood Boxing After Dark. I was watching it, but I had to do this episode of Blue Blood Boxing After Dark, great brother. And it's definitely a great game going on, you know, between the Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. Salute to my brother Charles Edward Cheese. My brother DePaul Turner in the super chat, he said, keep doing your thing, Blue. Much love to you, great brother. Appreciate you. Peace be free. Jason Williams, Ricardo Raya, what's going on? Who else we got? C. Mac, Robert Harris, L. Bowl, God's Greatest, Kevin Lyle Sr. Yeah, Anthony Ingram, what's going on? Mr. Z, what's going on? Camille Z, let me rent you up, bro. There you go. Neil Williamson, Mr. Blue, Kimber 4509, what's going on? Willie Williams, what's going on? Brian Son of God, what's going on? Gerson Duran, brother, what's going on? Big Texas Clayton Smith, what's going on? She said this game's giving me... Yeah, DSV, Cole, Ray Smith, what's going on? Pat Cannon, what's going on? Yeah, so... so now, you know, Andrew Garza, what's going on? A. Will, what's going on? Carlos Resto, Adam Lorenzo, what's going on? Charles Patterson, Jesse R, what's going on? No doubt, Camille Z. So, I saw the special with Andre Ward, Demetrius Hogg, what's going on? And Timothy Bradley and Sterling Patterson, what's going on? Smash that like button, man. We got 150 people. Let's get 150 likes. So I saw the interview, and so TJ Boston and Sports, what's going on, great brother? Little Scrappy, my brother, what's going on? So I saw that, and immediately they start talking about why Errol Spence ain't crossing the other side of the street. Why Errol Spence is hesitant. Brothers UK, what's going on, great brother? Why is Errol Spence hesitant? Why is Errol Spence not crossing the other side of the street? Okay? And then in the interview that Andre Ward did, Nitty 220, what's going on, great brother? Smash the like button. Tony Jones, what's going on? So I saw the interview that Andre Ward did, Elijah Lawson, what's going on? That he did with Fight Hype, right? And he was asked about the fight crossing the other side of the street, right? And when he was asked about this fight crossing the other side of the street, right? Tech Mun, what's going on? Demetrius Hart, Rico Breland, what's going on? And about Shawn Porter making this fight, right? Yeah, Ricardo Rhea is because it's Blue Blood Boxing After Dark. It's not meant for you to see me. Andre Wilkins, what's going on? It's called Blue Blood Boxing After Dark on Sundays. It's just a short episode. PD Miller, what's going on? Map S, what's going on? So smash the like button, man. Get the likes up to 150, man. You see, they're not sending out the notification. Nakia Bankhead, what's going on? How you feeling? Peace and blessings to you, Queen. So smash the like button, man. Get the likes to 150. Curtis Sewell, what's going on? Curtis Sewell, let me wrench you up. I'm gonna wrench up Curtis Sewell. Gerson Duran, Cornelius Jenkins, what's going on? So now with that said, right? Andre Ward said a few interesting things, and so did Timothy Bradley. Why don't Errol Spence want to cross the street? Kevin Lau Sr., my brother in Super Chat, dropping that half a dub on your boy Blue in the Super Chat. Chiefs since 68, but you're worth it. Blue, salute to you in the chat. Smash, please. Oh, you're a Chiefs fan, man? I've been mad at the Chiefs since they beat my Niners, man. Claude Boy Bone, what's going on? Brother Adam, what's going on? My brother Marky Dan 123 in the Super Chat. Been a rough day for my Eagles, Blue. My people been clowning me all day. Man, they put up a great performance today, man. Benjamin Newsom, what's going on? You had two teams that were very, very similar going at it, and they put up a great performance. Right? They tried to make a comeback at the end. Alan Turner, what's going on? So they put up a great performance. M-Bake Unfiltered, what's going on? So yeah, so now So they started to place blame on Errol Spence. B. Martin Jr., what's going on? Jimmy Bernard, what's going on? So they immediately started to place blame on Errol Spence, right? And Errol Spence don't want to Lev Ben Israel, what's going on? Errol Spence don't want to make the fight happen. Errol Spence is, essentially hiding behind the PBC and Al Heyman. Right? Naughty Crash, what's going on? Curtis Price, what's going on? John Moore, what's going on? This is what Andre Ward said. He said, Shawn Porter is a throwback fighter. Melanated Royalty, what's going on? He said, Shawn Porter is a throwback fighter. He said that Shawn Porter is a fighter that has his... Now, get this. When Andre Ward said Shawn Porter is a throwback fighter, and Shawn Porter is a fighter that has his own mind, and Shawn Porter is a team player, and he's going to deal with Shepherd King, what's going on? Fat Cat Shadowboxing, my brother, Jon Snow, what's going on? And he's going to deal with any side because he just want to make the fight happen. So now, I have to say this when Andre Ward says that, right? Okay, when you say Shawn Porter's a team player, so he's going to look to make all the fights happen, and Shawn Porter's not going to just be persuaded by one side of the street, and he has his own mind. That's incorrect. And let me tell you why that's incorrect. For one, my brother G5_Gabe in the building. Salute. Go subscribe to my brother G5_Gabe. Gabe dropped the link. Blood and Bone. What's going on? So now, think about it, right? Shawn Porter, Andre Ward said that Shawn Porter has his own mentality, and he's not going to allow them to dictate what he does because he has his own mind. So now, let's just stay right there. That's incorrect. When Shawn Porter was asked about the Terence Crawford fight, right? Remember, he put up a post when the WBO, World Boxing Organization, ordered the fight. They ordered them to start to negotiate. Shawn Porter put up that post, and then he took it down. And everybody said, oh, see, Shawn Porter don't want the fight because the powers that be made Shawn Porter take the post down. Right? So Shawn Porter don't want to fight. He took the post down because they don't want to make the fight. PBC don't want to make the fight. So they told Shawn Porter to take the post down. Then when Shawn Porter was asked about this on his podcast, Shawn Porter says he's going to let the business of boxing handle this fight for him. He's not going to interfere. He said, I'm going to let the business of boxing dictate how this fight, what happens with this fight. So is that Shawn Porter making up his own mind? My VVS said, what did the post say? The post that Shawn Porter put up, it said, he said, wow, I'm super surprised that the WBO ordered this fight, but I'm also happy at the same time. Then he said, okay, well, it's go time. Well, it's time to go. Right? That was on Twitter. But immediately he took it down, but we already had the screenshots. So he immediately took it down. Right? Terry Smooth Jr., my brother, what's going on? Harold Dixon, what's going on? So immediately he took the post down. And that's when everybody started to say, well, it's Al Heyman that told him to take the post down. It's Showtime, PBC. They told him to take the post down. Blue Cooks, what's going on? Right? So it's them that told him to take the post down. Kenny, my brother in the super chat, he said, what's good, Blue? You have a Gmail people can reach you at? Yeah, I do, man. I do. You don't have Instagram? Wendell Jackson, what's going on? Because that's where people usually meet me at, man. Instagram. Smash the like button, man. Get the likes up. We got 250 people. Let's get 250 likes. Why we only got 140 likes? Get the likes up to 250. Smash the like button. Get the likes up to 250, man. Smash the like button. Wipe your feet before you come inside. Ring my doorbell before you walk in my house. We got 250 people. Let's get 250 likes. Smash the like button. Let's work. MP Dub TF. What's going on, great brother? Let's work. Yeah, try IG, Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word, on IG. Inbox me there. Smash the like button. Get the likes at 250, my people. Smash it. Age Tsunami, what's going on? I don't know why people think a promotional company is better than the others. You all really think PBC is more fair than Top Rank. I see no evidence of that. You do see evidence of that. Quest for Knowledge, what's going on? Justin Trouble, what's going on? You see plenty of evidence of that. Trezor and Jefferson, what's going on? You just don't want to admit that you see the evidence for that, because admitting that you see the evidence for that means that whoever your favorite fighter is that's not with them and don't push for these fights, then you have to say they're not pushing for the fights. James R. Brown Jr., what's going on? That's where the problem comes in, because then you're not being honest with yourself. Okay, so let me explain to you how you see the evidence. Kenneth Pinkney, what's going on? I'm going to give you multiple examples as how you see the evidence. You see Shawn Porter, right? Shawn Porter, he has fought Keith Thurman. He has fought Adrian Broner. He has fought Danny Garcia. He has fought Errol Spence Jr. He has fought Kell Brook. That's just one example. As soon as Manny Pacquiao left Top Rank and signed with the PBC, he got the money he was looking for one, and Bob Arum has admitted to that. Bob Arum says that when Manny Pacquiao left Top Rank and got with PBC, he says he signed to fight Adrian Broner and he signed to fight Keith Thurman. And Bob Arum says, I'm glad I wasn't responsible to pay the necessary purses that they paid Manny Pacquiao, because they didn't get a return on their investment. So it wasn't about the return on their investment. It was about the betterment of the fighter. And we know he got $20 to $25 million that he was looking for when he was with Top Rank. He got that immediately as soon as he was with the PBC for the Adrian Broner and Keith Thurman fight. There goes a perfect example, right? And then you look at the fights that are being made. Miles Plummer, what's going on? Right? Now look at the fights that are being made, okay? Errol Spence has fought Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, Shawn Porter, Kell Brook, Felix Mays, what's going on? Right? He has fought these guys, unified the belts, okay? Now, look at Keith Thurman. He's fought Danny Garcia. He's fought Shawn Porter. He's fought Manny Pacquiao, okay? And the list goes on and on. They get the fights they want, and they get the money they're looking for the fights. Dre Finest, what's going on, my great brother in the super chat? Salute at Blue Blood. It's my screen. It's blacking, or it's a blackout, you dig? Yeah, no, it's just me. I got it as Blue Blood Boxing After Dark. Get the likes up, people. Salute to my brother in Dre Finest in super chat. We got 288 people. We should have that many. We still don't have 200 likes. Get the likes all the way up. It's Sunday night. Why I gotta tell y'all that? Wipe your feet before you come inside. We got almost 300 people here. Smash the like button. We should be at 300 likes right now. Get the likes all the way up. Stop dragging your feet. Don't moonlight, participate. So anyway, so that's just one example, right? Where Frankie C31, what's going on? That's just one example where Legato Pasado Boxing, my brother, what's going on? That's one example. Yeah, I made a dog. This is called Blue Blood Boxing After Dark, right? This is Blue Blood Boxing After Dark. Pop 375, my brother, Don Ron, what's going on? Right? So, now, look at that perfect example. There's the difference. Now, Terence Crawford, he was signed to Top Rank, re-signed with Top Rank. So his loyalty. King Cole, all facts. What's going on? Yordenis Ugas as well. Yordenis Ugas already fought Manny Pacquiao, and he fought Shawn Porter. Yordenis Ugas has more competitive fights on his resume, bigger names on his resume than Terence Crawford does. You understand? Big General, what's going on? Done deal, what's going on? James R. Brown Jr., he said, Blue, when there's large sums of money involved, there's always politics. These are pro boxers. They are not afraid of each other. They get paid to fight. It's the jobs. Yeah, well, here's the thing. I'm not saying that they avoid each other. Blue Cooks, my brother in the super chat, much love to you. I'm not saying they avoid each other. What I'm telling you is that certain fighters are comfortable and complacent, not pushing for the bigger fights. I'll say it to you again. I'm not saying that they're afraid of each other, but they're comfortable not pushing for the big fights. But then they'll sit there like Terence Crawford sits, and he'll allow the blame to be placed on Errol Spence when he know the blame should be placed in his backyard. I'm going to say it to you again. Terence Crawford sat there, Eric Black superhero, what's going on? And he said that, oh, Errol Spence don't have the same energy in making a fight, which is a complete contradiction of what he's saying, of what Chino Davis was going on, of his actions, okay? So we know that there's always been sides of the street, but have you ever seen Terence Crawford say, hey, Bob Arum ain't making the fights for me? Have you ever saw that? No, you will see him say that Errol Spence is not trying to make the fight. Christopher West, what's going on? But his own promoter. And then he says he finally cornered a PBC fighter to have to fight him. And in the same breath, now listen to this now. Listen to the contradiction. He said he finally got a PBC to corner him. He got a PBC fighter that he cornered that has to fight him. But in the very same breath, he says, when asked, why is this fight happening with Shawn Porter? He says the only reason this fight is happening with Shawn Porter is because Shawn Porter wanted to fight. So if Shawn Porter didn't want the fight, he don't have the same energy in pushing for these fights to happen like everybody else pushes to have the energy to make the big fights happen. King Third Eye, what's going on? Brian Colbert, what's going on? Robert Montgomery, what's going on? It's him. He don't want to admit and take accountability for his actions. That's the point blank and period. He's not looking to take responsibility for his actions. So he just told you in the same breath that Errol Spence don't have the energy to make the fight between him and himself. But then he'll tell you, Kendall Cody, what's going on? Then he'll tell you the only reason he's fighting Shawn Porter is because Shawn Porter pushed for the fight. Now, how does that make sense? Alan Jose Besa, what's going on? No, I'm purposely sitting in the dark. This is called Blue Blood Boxing After Dark. Sunday nights, after 10 o'clock is Blue Blood Boxing After Dark on Sunday nights. Robert Harris, what's going on? So, how could you say that's contradiction, isn't it? Kimini 4509, Peace Bless Queen, how you doing? But the thing is, right? Billy Gurley, what's going on? But Kimber 4509. But the thing, Kimber, is you said the fight is happening because Bob Arum finally spent some money. But that's not true either. Because Bob Arum didn't want to spend the money. Bees, what's going on? He didn't want to spend the money for this fight. Bob Arum told us that when the WBO ordered it, he complained to the WBO and asked them why he ordered it. So Terence Crawford has still yet to hold Bob Arum and himself accountable for not making these fights. But yet they'll continue to tell you that it's Errol Spence that's holding up the fight. How could it be Errol Spence holding up the fight when Bob Arum told you in the boxing world, right, that he didn't want to put up the money for you to fight Keith? How could you say you cornered a PBC fighter into making the fight happen, but then you could turn around and say, but Bob Arum can tell you, right? But Bob Arum can tell you, oh, Keith Thurman, well, guess what? For Keith Thurman, you can find another promoter. He told Terence Crawford this. Who else is he talking to? You can find another promoter to put up the necessary money to promote the fight for you and Keith Thurman, and I'll make sure I buy a ticket ringside to watch y'all lose money. But you still talking about is Keith Thurman for? What are you talking about? He said Shawn Porter's not worth more than $1 million. I'm not paying that. I'm not negotiating. And initially, Bob Arum, how soon we forget, Steve Austin, Sean Harris, what's going on? How soon we forget that Bob Arum is on record saying, I don't want to negotiate with Al Heyman and the PBC for any other fighters other than Errol Spence. I don't want to talk about Shawn Porter, right? I don't want to talk about Shawn Porter. Number 3, what's going on? I don't want to talk about Shawn Porter. I don't want to talk about Keith Thurman. I don't want to talk about Danny Garcia. Those guys are not good. I only want to talk about Errol Spence. So why is Terence Crawford telling the world he finally cornered a PBC fighter into making the fight happen? As if he had to force them to fight. No, brother. They had to force you to fight them. You ain't have to force no PBC fighter to fight you. They had to force you to fight them. And he says, now get this. He says, now tell me how this makes sense, how this adds up. He said that his number one objective was to fight Manny Pacquiao. Big George 850, what's going on? Fontaine Berry, you want to ride this train? Because I got time. You want to ride this train? Fontaine Berry? Because I could walk you down easily, brother, and I'll stop you. Easily. Anyway, let's go to the videotape. So, like I said, Walter Whitaker, what's going on? So now, like I said, AWAX, what's going on? He said, Bob Arum stated, right? Now, Bob Arum, he said, no, Terence Crawford said that his number one objective was to get Manny Pacquiao, right? Now, we know this already. Right? He said his number one objective was to secure a fight with Manny Pacquiao. Did he not say that? My number one objective is to secure the fight with Manny Pacquiao, right? Box Conversation, my brother Reggie Owens in the building. Go subscribe to my brother Box Conversation, Reggie Owens. My number one objective is to secure the fight with Manny Pacquiao. Is that not what he said? Right? Morris Green, what's going on? Then he's on record. Vince Williams, what's going on? Right? Superb Herb Nutrition, what's going on? Kendall Cody, what's going on? Then he goes on, right? Then he goes on record and he says, well, my number 2 objective has always been plan B with Shawn Porter. Now get this. He says his number 2 objective and plan B was always Shawn Porter, right? Did he not say that? So when we knew that you wasn't getting the Shawn Porter, the Manny Pacquiao fight in April, because Bob Arum told us that the investment group in Abu Dhabi fell out and that ESPN and Top Rank, they could make the fight for Terence Crawford with Manny Pacquiao, but they're not going to do it because they don't feel like they get a return on their investment. They much rather get a investment group to put up the money just in case it fails, then they don't take a loss. That's what Bob Arum said. Did he not? Right. So Bob Arum said that, not Blue Blood. Bob Arum said that, not Errol Spence. Bob Arum said that, not Shawn Porter. Bob Arum said that, not Al Heyman. Okay? So now, look at this, right? Chappelle Show 56, what's going on? So now, let's look at this, right? He said plan B was always Shawn Porter. That was his number 2 objective from the beginning. So if your plan from the beginning, your number 2 objective was always Shawn Porter, then how come in April or May, March, April, that's me, what's going on? How come in March, April, right? Chris Leggett, what's going on? How come in March or April, when you knew you wasn't getting the Manny Pacquiao fight? Because Bob already told us he didn't want to make it no more. Why didn't you start to negotiate and tell your team and tell Bob Arum to make the fight happen with Shawn Porter? Why didn't you tell your team and your promoter to make the fight happen with Shawn Porter? Dre Hargrove, what's going on? That's me, what's going on? Arturo Trejo, what's going on? Why didn't you do that? Why did it take the WBO? We knew this in March, April, that he wasn't getting the Manny Pacquiao fight. And then we knew in May for sure, because Manny Pacquiao, he announced that he was fighting Errol Spence May 20th. But we know Manny Pacquiao was in negotiations with Mikey Garcia before he announced the Big Tex Clay Smith was going on, before he announced the Errol Spence fight. So please explain to me, how did we go, you go silent from April, May, June, July, all the way to August, and the WBO says, okay, we had enough. And they order that you negotiate with Shawn Porter. And then we know that you had no intentions of negotiating with Shawn Porter. How do we know that, Blue? I'll tell you how. Because Bob Arum is on record as saying as soon as the WBO ordered it, he picked up the phone and called the WBO, and he asked the WBO, why did they do such a thing? Why did they order a fight? Why did they order this fight with Shawn Porter? And he said the WBO told him. And this is how you know the WBO and Bob Arum wasn't happy with this decision, because he said the WBO told him, well, we did y'all a favor. We didn't give him a mandatory in 2 years. And so then Bob Arum, he stated, okay, well, I guess King Bills, what's going on? Oh, I guess we're going to have to make this fight. Well, anyway, it's still a good fight. It's still the best fight in the best. So that lets you know you was not in negotiations. You was not in negotiation with Shawn Porter. So how was he always the next best option? How was he always your objective, your number 2 objective? If the shoe fits, you're silly. Jason Bell, what's going on? You're silly. You're not very smart. What's biased about what I'm telling you? I guess 1 + 1 don't equal 2 to you. It must equal 10. Blackwater Boxing, what's going on? And Mob, Houston, Texas, 056, what's going on? So anyway, you see the mind of people that, those are the minds that people that send 50 trade deuce, what's going on? They can't make up their own mind. No, they let other people talk for them. L. Harper Reptiles, Derek Benoin, what's going on? Benoin, what's going on? Herbert Johnson, what's going on? Assault of God, what's going on? Smash the like button, man. Get the likes at 350. H-Town 713, my brother. What's going on? So now, let's talk about it, right? So now, get the likes up to 350, people. Smash the like button. Sports Drive, what's going on? So now, let's look at it. Look at this, right? So now, Andre Ward says that Satone Hemingway, what's going on? Yeah, 1 + 1 = 11 for them. Eric O, what's going on? Mr. Carter, what's going on? But these are the people that sit there when Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley act like Errol Spence is not putting his best foot forward to make these fights happen. Yeah, see, they avoiding Terence Crawford. What are you talking about? Pound for Pound King, what's going on? Javirus Austin, what's going on? Oh, man, you see, Errol Spence don't want to fight. Those are the same people. Fontaine Berry, how could I be mad at Bud? Did you not hear anything? What are you wearing? Headphones that have block on them? How could you say, Hamilton Steele, what's going on? Bobo, what's going on? When you have a person sitting up there and contradicting themselves, why don't you hold them accountable? This is how you live in your everyday life. You can always tell. So now let me ask you a question. Why would he do an interview and act like Errol Spence is not trying to make the fight? Would that be true? Fontaine Berry. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Who's not trying to make the fight happen with the PBC fighters? Is it the PBC fighters or is it Terence Crawford? Now watch this now. Arthur Hawkins, what's going on? King Group, what's going on? You just said, why am I mad? I'm not mad at anybody. I'm mad at the sport of boxing for not giving us the best fight and the best. And you should be upset that Terence Crawford is telling the world that it's everybody else but him and his promoter, when it's abundantly clear that it's him and his promoter not looking to make these fights happen. Mr. Carter, what's going on? So why wouldn't you be mad? Why wouldn't you feel a certain kind of way as an investor in the sport of boxing? As a fan of the sport of boxing, you should want to see the best fight and the best. And if you have a fighter sitting there and telling you something that you can clearly see that's not the case, why would you go along with it and not call him out on it? Now ask yourself that question. Say a bonga, say Katone, say you are placing blame. So let me ask you a question. What part of this, did you listen to any part of this conversation? Terence Crawford just said that he couldn't get none of the PBC fighters to fight him. Is that true? Now let me ask you a question. Marcus, my brother, super chat, WBO mandating a tough Porter fight puts the Spence payday in jeopardy for Bob and Crawford. Hashtag you got to get in deep water to catch the big fish. Now, he beat Shawn Porter. He makes a statement. So when have Al Heyman come out and try to make a fight with with Top Rank? Oh, okay. Did you see Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight twice already? Yes or no? See, this is what I'm talking about. Nobody even uses their own brain. Do you have your own brain? Let me ask you a question. Did you see Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight twice? And who was the A side in both of those fights already? Go ahead. I'll wait. Simple mind. Simple-minded. Did you not see Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight twice? And who was the A side? Eric, oh, let me wrench you up. Who was the A side? Now go ahead. Don't hesitate, just like you wasn't hesitating. James R. Brown Jr. said Fury was the A side. Now, how can Fury be the A side? Bro, I'm confused. Man, what is going on? How can Fury be the A side? What are you talking about? This is the first time he's the A side. How can he be the A side when Deontay Wilder was the champion? What are you talking about? Yeah, Javarius Austin, you can't make this stuff up. Fury was the A side. What? He didn't have a belt, and he wasn't even active. How can he be the A side? You can't make this stuff up, man. Can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Derek Benoit said Wilder was the A side, but more on Fury. Oh my goodness. Curtis Sewell, my brother in Super Chat, looking forward to these big fights coming up. Yes, sir. Salute to you, great brother. The brother said Wilder was the A side, but it was more on Fury. Yeah, I'm convinced, man. People will say anything to fit their narrative. What? Fury is on record, just like Wilder and the rest of the boxing world, that know that Deontay Wilder resurrected his career. Tyson Fury didn't even want the immediate rematch in the second fight. That's why he fought Tom Schwartz and Otto Wallin. Please explain to me, how could it be more on Fury? When Wilder was at the negotiation table, signed his portion for the immediate rematch, and then Fury walked away and said, no, I need some tune-ups. I'm confused. Where did you get it? How can it possibly be Tyson Fury? I'm confused. Lamar Jackson legs saved him this game, huh? Lamar Jackson legs saved him. Houston, Texas 056. What's going on? Sylvester Stallman 2011. What's going on? Smash the like button, people. Get the likes to 350. Get the likes to 400. D. Hodges, what's going on? Big Ace Laster, what's going on? Yeah, Big Ace. I don't understand. Jay Simons Cursor, what's going on? John Juan Don the Don, what's going on? I don't understand, man. This is not that hard. It's just not. This is not Master Eden. What's going on? This is not that hard. This is not rocket science. Chilltown Majors, what's going on? So you can clearly FSU what's going on, but you don't even have to know to be that deep. Just the receipts alone should tell you everything you need to know. Leandre Robinson, what's going on? Jellybean 4280, what's going on? LV Live, my brother LV, Mr. Carter, what's going on? I don't understand. Just the receipts itself tells you the whole story. So how could he sit there and how could Andre Ward sit there and say Shawn Porter is making this fight happen? Because he's a team player. So you are saying that Errol Spence is not a team player or the rest of the PBC is not team players. But then are you saying that Terence Crawford is not being a team player? Because, yeah, that's a huge win for the Ravens. Because Terence Crawford is not putting his best foot forward to make these fights happen either. If that's the case, so now let me get this straight. Terence Crawford is on record as saying he had 2 #1 objectives in his career. Right? Right? He says, Adrian Vett, what's going on? He says, DJ, what's going on? He says, Keith Thurman was the man to beat at welterweight. On record. Errol Spence is not the man to beat. Keith Thurman is the man to beat. His #1 objective is to secure the fight with himself and Manny Pacquiao. Well, his promoter is on record preventing both of those fights. Have you ever heard Terence Crawford once say, this is Bob Aaron fault? DSV Cole, my brother in Super Chat. Don't forget, Bud was about to fight Jose Cepeda. The WBO had enough time for him to swim in the water with the fish. Spence sitting licking his lips. This is a fact. So now let's look at it from this side, right? Unadulterated truth. What's going on? Now let's look at it from this side, right? Let's be real. We deal with facts over feelings over here. You can't come over here if you live in Candyland. 817 Boston B. TR, what's going on? Bees, what's going on? You can't come over here if you live in Candyland. If you live in Candyland and the world of Candyland, this is not going to suit you. You're going to be lost when you come here. D. Hodges, what's going on? So now, let's think about this, right? Have you ever heard once, R. Espinoza, what's going on? Have you ever heard at any point in time, Terence Crawford say, Bob Arum has stopped me from getting these fights? Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard him say that he held himself accountable for not making these fights? Have you ever heard Terence Crawford once say Bob Arum is not making these fights for me? In fact, you heard him defend Bob Arum and say, I know Bob Arum wants to make these fights happen. It's the other fighters. But Bob Arum is on record telling the world and telling Terence Crawford that he didn't make the Manny Pacquiao fight and that he didn't make the Keith Thurman fight. So if Keith Thurman is your number 2 objective, right? Now get this. He said Errol Spence is not the man. Keith Thurman is the man to beat at welterweight, right? In order to be the man, you got to beat the man. It's Keith Thurman. That's what he said on record when he was with Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith, right? And so now let's go to the videotape, okay? Did he push to make the Keith Thurman fight happen? When Keith Thurman said, okay, give me $10 million and make the fight happen. Did he push to negotiate with Keith Thurman? Is there anything that suggests that he negotiated with Keith Thurman to make the fight happen? Anything? Is there any proof that he started to negotiate with Keith Thurman to make this fight happen? Yes or no? Yes or no? Terrell Barnes, my brother in Super Chat, dropping that $100 on your boy Blue in the Super Chat. He said, Assalamu alaikum, Blue. You're breaking them off tonight, my brother. Salute to you, great brother. I appreciate you 1,000%. Salute to my brother Terrell Barnes in the Super Chat, dropping that Hundo on your boy Blue in the super chat. Much love to you. Poppy so amazing. My brother in the super chat. Errol Spence beats T Bud Crawford by decision. I can't wait to see it. It's definitely the best fight in boxing to me. Or Espinoza. What's going on? So now let's look at it, right? Bob Arum said, when Keith Thurman said, give me 10 million, did he negotiate? That's your number 2 objective, right? Now, I'm going to give, I bet y'all that y'all didn't even catch that. Y'all missed it, didn't you? How the brother said? What, I got to put it in subtitles or something? Brother Sue Surf? King Cole, all facts, brother in the super chat, dropping that half a dub on your boy Blue in the super chat. He said Bud acts like a streetwalker with Stockholm's towards Bob Arum. Dude gotta get it together. I agree. Now listen to this. Now watch this. What Sue Surf say? What, I gotta put it in subtitles or something? He said on record that his number 1 objective was Manny Pacquiao. That never changed, right? But then he said on record the next best option was Shawn Porter. Right now, when the Shawn Porter fight gets made, what did he say? The next best option is Shawn Porter, right? Right? But prior to that, he said, to be the man, you got to beat the man, and the man is Keith Thurman. So Keith Thurman only lost to your number 1 objective, which was Manny Pacquiao. So how can Shawn Porter be your number 2 objective when you told the world that, well, Keith Thurman was your number 2 objective? So you got 2 number 2 objectives? I'm confused. I'm confused. Receipts tell the truth. The receipts, John Crane, what's going on? Sin Strong TV, what's going on? TR said that was 15 years ago. Was it? If it was 15 years ago, great brother, that means Terence Crawford wasn't even a thought in your brain about being a champion or even being the best. Did you know that? Mr. Tally 140, what's going on? Dre Hargrove, he said, Bud is knocking out Porter. Y'all just wait. November turkey's coming early. Doesn't matter if he knock him out or not. That doesn't change the receipts. Jawill Murphy, what's going on? You're trying to move the goalpost as to say, well, he's going to win in the ring. No, Tyanna Scott, peace, bless, Queen. How you doing today? We're not talking about his skill set in the ring. We're talking about why he hasn't fought certain fighters. Victor Naiz, what's going on? And why they are trying to act like it's Errol Spence that's preventing us from getting the best fight in the best. And the reason that I'm passionate about this, Yo Vu, what's going on? Smash the like button. Get the likes to 500. Pride Wolf, what's going on? So now, why am I so passionate about this, Blue? Because I'm a fan of the sport of boxing. That comes before me being a media member, a journalist, or anything. I'm a fan of the sport of boxing. Oak Park Boxing, what's going on? And so I want to see the best fight the best, as you should, as a fan of the sport of boxing, not a fan of one fighter. You should be a fan of the sport of boxing first. So you should want to see the best fight and the best. And when you have a fighter that's sitting here and he's telling you something like it's the other fighters that's not looking to make the fight happen, when you could add and you could go through the receipts and you could see, well, wait a minute, what about you and your promoter that's holding up these fights? You should be wanting to ask them, how come they're holding up the fights? How come they're not looking to make the best fight and the best? No, but you're too busy trying to defend them to the highest degree that you could possibly do, that they're making you look silly when you try to defend it, because you can't defend the receipts. You can't. You can't defend the receipts. So listen to this. Bomac, Brian McIntyre, trainer and manager of Terence Crawford. He said, when Keith Thurman said, give me 10 million, he laughed at Keith Thurman and said, Keith Thurman knows he don't have 10 million. And he's pricing himself out. And then he says, if Keith Thurman wanted to make the fight happen, he would have Al Heyman contact us. Now get this right. He said he would have Al Heyman contact us. I just want y'all to understand this. He said he would have Al Heyman contact us, right? And send us a boatload of money with a contract. That's what he said. He said he would have Al Heyman contact us and send us a boatload of money with a contract. But he can't do that because he don't have a promoter. That's what he said, right? That's what he said. But he can't do that because he don't have a promoter, right? Well, I'm convinced. I'm confused. You have a promoter, but your promoter is telling you that they're not willing to put up any money for you to fight the biggest legacy fight of your career against a legend in Manny Pacquiao. Salute to my brother Lee in the super chat, dropping that 500 on your boy Blue in the super chat. He said 100% correct here. Salute to my brother Lee. Much blessings to you in the super chat, dropping that 500 on your boy Blue in the super chat. Much love to you, Lee. I appreciate you 1,000% for coming through, supporting your boy Blue. Vaughn P. King, Deacon, what's going on? So now, think about this, right? I want y'all to think about this now. Chef Dre Bug, what's going on? Salute to my brother Lee coming through, dropping that 500 on your boy Blue in the super chat. So now, as a fan, you should want to see the best fighting the best because I told you guys already, right? I told you, Mr. Carter, I appreciate you. Italian Sky, peace, bless, Queen. How you doing tonight? I told you guys, right, that you are not a consumer. You are an investor in the sport of boxing. So, martial law, what's going on? You should be feeling a certain kind of way when these fights aren't made because you are investing your money and not getting a return on your investment. Just like Bob Arum don't want to invest in certain fights because he don't think he get a return on his investment. You as a fan and a supporter of the sport of boxing, and you as an investor in the sport of boxing, you should be feeling a certain kind of way because you invest your hard-earned money on these pay-per-views, on these ticket sales, on all of these things, on your travel. Do they send you money? Do they give you a reimbursement on when the fight don't live up to its billing? Do they give you a refund for your plane tickets, your hotel fees, the ticket that you spent at the fight, the venue, the food that you spend on yourself for the 2 or 3 days that you're there? Do they? You should be feeling a certain kind of way as well. Because guess what? Even when it's not on pay-per-view, you paying for it because you pay a subscription every month. So guess what? You should be feeling a certain kind of way as well. As well. You should be saying to yourself, well, I pay my money. I want to see the best fight the best. Blackwater Boxing, my brother Super Chat, them top-ranked guys stay contradicting receipts. They had Lomachenko undefeated. What receipts? Facts. Facts. You follow what I'm trying to tell you? Somebody tell me that I'm making this stuff up. Camille Z, brother in the Super Chat, Usyk versus AJ this week. This is Usyk's most important fight of his life. I think he gonna be a win, Blue. Usyk's angles and footwork gonna be too much for AJ. I don't see that. Mr. Smith Job 278, what's going on? I don't see that, great brother. I just don't see. I don't think that he transitions well to the heavyweight division. I don't see it. Vaughn P. King Deacon, my brother, what's going on? Robert Hall, what's going on? So when you have, so now Andre Ward says, well, Jordan SRT, what's going on? So now when Andre Ward says, well, Shawn Porter got a mind of his own. He don't let the PBC dictate who he fights and when he fights. Incorrect. Renee Bosch-Young, my brother Renee Bosch-Young in the building. Go subscribe to my brother Renee Bosch-Young. That's completely incorrect. Because Shawn Porter fought Yordenis Ugas because Yordenis Ugas was in position to be Errol Spence's mandatory, and they wanted to have the unification bout. So what did they do? They accommodated everybody involved, right? They accommodated Errol Spence, Shawn Porter, Mikey Garcia, and Yordenis Ugas. Yordenis Ugas fought Shawn Porter. Errol Spence fought Mikey Garcia. Then they came together to fight each other in unification bout. Shawn Porter just told the boxing world that he was going to sit back and let the business of boxing handle it. So what are we talking about? I'm not saying that Shawn Porter is going to be, he's going to pursue what he wants for sure. But that's all the PBC fighters. Keith Thurman got the Manny Pacquiao fight. Adrian Broner got the fights he wanted. Name me a PBC fighter that didn't get the fights that they wanted. Show me a PBC fighter that didn't get the fights that they wanted. Is there no one else? Like Achilles said, is there no one else? Show me a PBC fighter that didn't land the fight that they wanted outside of Errol Spence not getting the Keith Thurman fight because Keith Thurman was just hesitant to make the fight happen. Yeah, in love. That was on Keith Thurman preventing the fight happen. That was on Keith Thurman. I don't think that Gary Russell Jr. is persistent enough. I think that this is my opinion. I feel like Gary Russell Jr. is too complacent with just sitting back. Jonathan Sims, Wilder didn't get the AJ fight. AJ is not signed with the PBC. He's not signed with the PBC. And right now, Regis Prograis wants the Mikey Garcia fight, but Mikey Garcia is on a fight-by-fight basis with the PBC. That's why his next fight is going to be on his own. TR said Spence kept saying Crawford's on the wrong side. He never said that. Good try. Try again. Good try. And so here's the thing. Let me address that, right? Because people love to say that. No, he didn't say that. So here's what happened. When that was asked, when Errol Spence was asked about fighting Terence Crawford, if Terence Crawford was to come to welterweight, that's before he even made his debut at welterweight. And he said, right now, Terence Crawford's on the wrong side of the street because I'm already cleaning up my side of the street. He was trying to get the fight with Keith Thurman. He was trying to get the fight with the other fighters. That was already already welterweights and already on his side of the street. And Terence Crawford was saying his number one objective, if he goes to welterweight, was to fight Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao lost to Jeff Horn. Then he fought Jeff Horn. See how that works? And then he said, what was his next objective? Was Keith Thurman. And when they asked Terence Crawford, what about Errol Spence? He said, Errol Spence is not the man. And Stephen A. Smith said, look like Errol Spence is going to be the man at welterweight. And Terence Crawford said, your eyes can deceive you. He's not the man. As a matter of fact, Keith Thurman is the man at welterweight. That's what Terence Crawford said. So please explain to me, when did this happen? When? Explain to me. I must be missing something. Rotten Tizzy, what's going on? Please explain to me when this happened. So now he's on record trying to get a fight with Manny Pacquiao for the better part of 4 to 5 years. For the better part of 4 to 5 years, right? With Manny Pacquiao. But Errol Spence says 60-40, my brain is bigger, and he says I'm done negotiating with Errol Spence. For a year? For a year? So he's also on record saying that Shawn Porter didn't want to fight him when he was a champion. He says, only reason the fans and Shawn Porter want to fight me now because Shawn Porter don't have a belt. When he had a belt, he wasn't trying to fight me. Terence Crawford, please explain to me. When Shawn Porter first got the IBF belt, he only had the belt twice. And he didn't have it for very long. So he had the belt, the IBF belt. Right? That was his first world championship belt, Shawn Porter, the IBF belt. Shawn Porter, let's go to the videotape. Receipts. This is the worst thing that can happen when you're saying these things. Instead of holding everybody accountable, that you should hold accountable and deal with facts over feelings, right? When you do things like this and say things like this, right? It shows. Now, Let's look at it. The proof is in the pudding, always. The proof is in the pudding, always. It's always in the pudding. Now, let's go to the videotape. Get the likes up to 500. Get the likes up, all the way up. So he said when Shawn Porter was a champion, he never wanted to fight me and give me the opportunity. Isn't that what he said? Isn't that what he said? Yes or no? Is that what he said? He said Shawn Porter didn't want to give me the opportunity to fight for a championship when he had the belt. Isn't that what he said? Now let's go to the videotape. Shawn Porter won his belt in 2013, December of 2013, when he beat Devin Alexander. Okay? He defended it one time against Paulie Malignaggi. That was April of 2014. He lost the belt in August of 2014 to Kell Brook. Now let's just look and see what Terence Crawford was doing in 2013 and 2014 when Shawn Porter had the belt. Let's go to the videotape. Since Terence Crawford says that Shawn Porter didn't want to give him the opportunity when he was the world champion. Now, we're also going to not gloss over the fact that when Terence Crawford was asked about fighting Shawn Porter, we're not going to gloss over the fact that Terence Crawford said, when asked about fighting Shawn Porter, Terence Crawford said, I'm not going to be forced to fight Shawn Porter because he's my friend. Unless me and him sit down together and mutually agree to fight each other, not my promoters, not my managers, not nobody is going to force me and Shawn Porter to fight. Did he not say that? Is he not on record saying that? Sure did, right? And now he's saying Shawn Porter wasn't his friend, is not his friend. It's just his opponent. Okay. So now, in 2013, Terence Crawford was fighting at 135. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Brent Lawson, what's going on? Hold on. In 2013, 2014, he was fighting at 135 and wasn't even a champion. Wait a minute. He hadn't even won his first title yet when Shawn Porter was a champion? And he was fighting at 135 when Shawn Porter was fighting at 147? Oh, somebody please stop me. Somebody please stop me. Southern T Boxing and Sports. My brother, go subscribe to my brother Southern T Boxing and Sports. Somebody please stop me. He wasn't even a world champion yet, and he was fighting at 135? That can't be right. That can't be right. And when Shawn Porter lost the belt August of 2014, let's see what Terence Crawford was doing August of 2014. He had just had his world title opportunity. He beat Ricky Burns for his first world title March of 2014. That year, in a few months, that same summer, Shawn Porter lost his belt. Then in June of that year, he defended his 135-pound title for the first time. His first title defense was at 135 against Yuriokis Gamboa in June of 2014. Loving Down Gaither, what's going on? June of 2014 is the first time he defended his world title. Somebody stop me. So 2 months later, Shawn Porter lost his belt at welterweight. You defended your title at lightweight for the first time. Okay. So we know that's not, that wasn't possible, right? That wasn't possible. So how could Shawn Porter not give him an opportunity? Was anybody, when Terence Crawford fought Yuriokis Gamboa, defended his title for the first time, was anybody talking about Terence Crawford at welterweight? Somebody please help me out. Was there any talks of Terence Crawford at welterweight? Jordan SRT, what's going on? Yes or no? Did anybody talk about Terence Crawford going to welterweight? No, right? Exactly. Okay. Right. Now, Shawn Porter. fights Danny Garcia, September of 2018, for the vacant WBC title. PGH Big Dog, what's going on? Now, let me ask y'all a question. Keith Thurman was the champion, unified champion, right? Was Terence Crawford, Tay Walker, what's going on? Was Terence Crawford aggressively pursuing Keith Thurman and saying Keith Thurman is not trying to make the fight? Has anybody heard that? Yes, no, maybe. Was he pursuing Keith Thurman in the same manner and saying Keith Thurman is not trying to make the fight? No, right? Didn't hear that. Okay, so Keith Thurman vacates the belt because of inactivity, right? Keith Thurman vacates the belt because of inactivity, right? Okay, and Keith Thurman vacates the belt because of inactivity. Shawn Porter fights Danny Garcia, who lost to Keith Thurman, lost his belt to Keith Thurman. Now, I will say this. Terence Crawford was pursuing Danny Garcia, but we know. Okay, now Danny Garcia wasn't seeming to be too interested in the fight. Neither was Mikey Garcia, right? Mikey Garcia, he said that Terence Crawford's style was all wrong. Point blank, period. Mikey Garcia avoided Terence Crawford by any means. We know this. That's a fact, right? Danny Garcia had no interest in fighting Terence Crawford either. He showed zero interest in fighting him. Yeah, so those two guys, for sure. Cool. I give you that, right? But now, Shawn Porter beats Danny Garcia in September of 2018, right? Then he fights Yordenis Ugas, who, again, now listen to this. Eric Pryor, what's going on? Now, again, listen to this and listen to me closely. They had a deal already in place for Errol Spence to fight the winner of Danny Garcia, Shawn Porter in a unification bout. Okay? Okay. Right? That was already in place. My big brother, the historian, Kurt Sugar, is in the building. How you feeling today, big bro? My brother, man, my co-host. How you feeling, Kurt? I know you just finished watching that Chief game. Bama Jeff Jim Bama Jeff 79, what's going on? Z Stacks 1017, what's going on? So now, they had a deal in place for a unification bout, right? Against one another. That being Errol Spence and Shawn Porter. Remember, Errol Spence got in the ring with Shawn Porter after remember, Charles Hankerson, what's going on? Salute to Hawaii. Remember, Errol Spence got in the ring with Shawn Porter after Shawn Porter beat Danny Garcia. That's when he called him out and said, we're going to make this fight. There was already a deal in place, right? For Shawn Porter and Errol Spence to face off against each other in a unification bout. You don't feel good? Man, sorry to hear that, great brother. Sorry to hear that, great brother. Eno Boxing, what's going on? Feel better, great brother. Feel better, great brother, man. Get some rest, man. Sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, Matthew's business. Yes, sir. Blue Blood Boxing After Dark. Hey, Kurt, man, feel better, great brother. Man, get the likes up to 600, man. Get the likes up to 600. Wipe your feet before you come inside. Get the likes up. Feel better, Kurt, man. Get some rest, great brother. Rodriguez Jackson, what's going on? Get some rest, man. Get some rest. Get some rest, historian, man. And feel better. So, now you look at this, right? Now, they had a deal in place. Now, remember, Yordenis Ugas was in position to be Errol Spence's mandatory. Mikey Garcia was calling out Errol Spence, right? Milton Welch, what's going on? Remember, Mikey Garcia was calling out Errol Spence. Yordenis Ugas was in position to be Errol Spence's mandatory for the IBF. Remember that? So, to satisfy both, they gave Yordenis Ugas the opportunity to fight Shawn Porter for the WBC title. Okay? And Mikey Garcia fought Errol Spence. You seeing 007, what's going on? Okay? Then they fought each other in unification bout. And then Errol Spence beat Shawn Porter. Abdul Anwar, what's going on? Then Errol Spence beat Shawn Porter. So please explain to me, when did Shawn Porter have the belt for this extensive amount of time and just was not calling Terence Crawford out? Aubrey Davis, what's going on? Or wasn't giving Terence Crawford the opportunity to fight for a title? Somebody please explain to me that. When? When did Shawn Porter have the belt for all this time and not look to give Terence Crawford the opportunity? Donald now, 66-year-old G Grant, Triple OG in the building. Jeff the producer. Prex, what's going on? When? When did that happen? Jill XG, what's going on? When did that happen? He couldn't. He didn't have the belt for long enough. So when did he have the belt that he could say, hey man, I want to fight Terence Crawford? He never had the belt long enough to do that. Shawn Porter has 2 wins, title defenses. Paulie Malignaggi, then he lost it to Kell Brook. Yordenis Ugas, then he lost it to Errol Spence. So please explain to me when he had the belt all this time and he just wasn't giving Terence Crawford the opportunity. Leon Sterling, what's going on? Leon Sterling, let me rent you up. Somebody explain to me when Shawn Porter had the belt and wasn't giving Malik Rain, what's going on? Malik Rain, let me rent you up. When he wasn't giving Terence Crawford the opportunity. So why is Terence Crawford telling people, man, Shawn Porter only want to fight me because he don't got no belt no more? Sherman Callahan, what's going on? Somebody please explain to me. He's acting like Shawn Porter don't want to fight him because he didn't have a belt. Shawn Porter pursued Keith Thurman aggressively just like he pursued Terence Crawford. Keith Thurman didn't have Shawn Porter didn't have a belt. Cody Maxwell, what's going on? Remember when Shawn Porter came face to face with Keith Thurman, they had to be separated, and he was like, when you're trying to fight. Remember when Keith Thurman said he got injured? Houston, Texas, 056. Okay, have a great night, great brother. Jason Jarrell, what's going on? Remember when Keith Thurman got injured? When they were scheduled to fight, and then Keith Thurman got injured, and then Shawn Porter was saying, man, Keith Thurman faked the injury and all of that. Remember, Kenny Porter even did the research. Slime Glizzy, what's going on? Remember, Kenny Porter even did the research to see if Keith Thurman actually was in a fender bender or whatever? Remember that? Okay, so Shawn Porter didn't have a belt when he pursued Keith Thurman. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? That he wants to fight because he don't have a belt. What are you talking about? I'm confused. Von P. King Deacon, brother in the super chat, dropping that quarter of a hundo on your boy Blue in the super chat. He said, salute, Blue Blood. He said, salute, Blue Blood. You cooking so hard, I have to bring some food to the table. I appreciate you, great brother. I appreciate you, great brother. Wesley DeVellis, what's going on? So, Ace 1200 Block, my brother, what's going on? I appreciate you, great brother, dropping that quarter of a hundo on your boy Blue in the super chat. So please explain to me, Shawn Porter pursues everybody the same way. So, he tried to pursue Danny Garcia, but Danny Garcia fought Keith Thurman. So somebody explain to me, why is he saying Shawn Porter only wanted to fight because he don't have a belt? This is who Shawn Porter is. It's not because of the hardware. It's because he wants the best to fight the best. Shawn Porter has the best resume in the sport of boxing, not named Manny Pacquiao, people. He has the best resume in the sport of boxing, not named Manny Pacquiao. So please explain to me. Somebody explain to me. He has a far better resume than Terence Crawford. This is the biggest fight in Terence Crawford's career. This is probably one of the most important fights in Shawn Porter's career to keep him relevant and prove that he can still stick around and fight at this level. Because if Shawn Porter loses this fight, people are going to say, well, he lost all his big fights, whether that being a very close razor-thin fights or not, right? He still lost the fight. So this is a opportunity for Shawn Porter to stay in that class of fighters. But Shawn Porter resume is far deeper than Terence Crawford's. Far deeper. Look at the videotape. Shawn Porter has fought Errol Spence, Yordenis Ugas, Danny Gar. Look, I'm just going to give y'all a stretch of names of fighters. Okay? Let me just give y'all a stretch of names of fighters. Let me give y'all a stretch of name of fighters. Right? Because we deal with facts over feelings. Okay? It's from 2013. From 2013, look at the fighters. Blackout, what's going on? Look at the fighters Shawn Porter has fought since 2013. Let's go. He fought Julio Diaz in September 2013. Then he fought Devin Alexander in 2013. Then he fought Paulie Malignaggi in 2013. Then he fought Kell Brook in 2014. Okay? Then he fought Eric Bone, and that was a defense. That was a get-back fight after he lost to Kell Brook. Then he fought Adrian Broner. Then he fought Keith Thurman. Then he fought Andre Berto. Then he fought Adrian Granados. Then he fought Danny Garcia. Then he fought Yordenis Ugas. Then he fought Errol Spence. Then he fought undefeated Sebastian Famila. And now he's fighting Terence Crawford. Young Musa, goodbye. Get him out of here. Don't want to see him no more. Salute to my brother Blackout in the super chat. Much love to you. Young Musa, goodbye. Get him out of here. If you can't, if 1 + 1 equal anything but 2 to you, I don't want him here. Get him out of here. Goodbye. Goodbye. So, who has a stretch of fights like that? Julio Diaz, Devin Alexander, Paulie Malignaggi, Kell Brook, Eric Bone, Adrian Broner, Keith Thurman, Andre Berto, Adrian Granados, Danny Garcia, Yordenis Ugas, Errol Spence, and Sebastian Famila. But you acting like he's just looking for a handout. Capadon 24, what's going on? He's looking for a handout? Kaz, what's going on? He's looking for a handout? Moyo Salts, what's going on? What are we talking about here? And get this. This is Adrian Granados when he was still a contender. Andre Berto, Keith Thurman, Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner only had one loss. That was the Marcos Madonna fight. Johnny True Blue Stanley, what's going on? Jason Smith, what's going on? That's Adrian Broner when he only had one loss. That's Adrian Granados when everybody said he beat Adrian Broner. That's Keith Thurman who was undefeated. I'm confused. That was Kell Brook when he was undefeated. That was Devin Alexander when he only lost to Timothy Bradley. Devin Alexander only lost was to Timothy Bradley. That's Kell Brook when he was undefeated. Not to mention, he was the first person to beat Phil LaGreco before the Julio Diaz fight in 2013. Phil LaGreco was undefeated when Shawn Porter fought him and beat him. Now everybody knows Phil LaGreco for being a journeyman or being my brother CB Sports TV, Carl Burrell in the building. Everybody knows Phil LaGreco for being that journeyman or being a gatekeeper. But this is Phil LaGreco when he was 25-0 with no losses, no draws. That's who Shawn Porter fought. Somebody please explain to me who had this stretch of fights in their career. My brother Manuel H. Yes, sir. You know, this Blue Blood After Dark, Sunday, we do it at 10 o'clock. And you know what I want to do at 5 o'clock on Sundays? I want to do the basketball pound for pound king. What's going on? Emmanuel H. I want that to be a staple. 5 o'clock Sunday. Unless the 49ers playing at 4 o'clock. Mr. 67, what's going on? 49ers playing at 4 o'clock, then we're going to have to reschedule that. We'll do it at 1 o'clock. But the 49ers playing at 1 o'clock, then we'll do it at 5 o'clock. I got to see the Niners. Cabbage, what's going on? Oh, I'm about to get off too, great brother. He said, man, I had no clue. I'm about to, I was at a wedding. Oh, man, how was it? Xavier Combs, brother in Super Chat. Danny Garcia is the only fighter that can compete with Porter resume, probably better. Wrench me up, Blue. By the way, my brother Blue. Yeah, man, I'll wrench you up, man. Showtime Hall, what's going on? Yeah, I've been a Niner fan. Mark Stearns, what's going on? I've been a Niner fan since 1982, man. 1983, 82, 83. Been a Niner fan, man. Yeah, I got to get off now because my brother Fred Barbershop Conversations is coming on. Do me a favor, my peoples. Get the likes up to 600. Please. Get them likes all the way up to 600. Smash that like button, man. Let me get on out of here, man. My brother Fred Barbershop Conversations coming on. Go check out my brother Fred Barbershop Conversations, man. Solomon Yisrael, my brother in the Super Chat, dropping that gub on your boy Blue in the Super Chat. He said, salute. Salute, Blue. Bob and Bud are like father and son. Won't be surprised if he signs back to top rank. Blue Blood after dark. The grind don't stop. You already know. The grind never stops, great brother. The grind never stops, man. It never stops. My whole house sleep. That's why I'm sitting in the car doing Blue Blood after dark. Because everybody getting prepared for tomorrow morning. Whole house getting prepared for tomorrow morning. For school. So Blue Blood after dark is perfect for me, man. Yeah, Teach. We do Blue Blood after dark Sunday nights after 10 o'clock. In between that 10 to 10:30 range, we're gonna be coming on Blue Blood after dark on Sunday night. And then going into my brother Fred Barbershop Conversation show. Salute to the historian, man. Kurt, man. Hope you feel better, great brother. I love you, great brother, man. And feel better, please. Do me a favor, people. Get the likes up. Smash that like button. Get the likes up to 600, please. Can we get the likes up to 600? The historian is resting up, man. Tiana Scott, peace, blessings to you, Queen. Have a great night. The historian is resting up, man. He said, I got 4 pizzas. Yeah, I'm about to eat me a sandwich, man. Probably peanut butter and jelly. I'm getting ready to eat me a peanut butter jelly sandwich and watch Raising Kanan right now, man. With my son. Me and my son about to watch Raising Kanan. And I'm going to eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich and some Ralph's Icy, man. Kevin Lyle Sr., my brother. Salute to you, great brother. Yeah, G Breeze, what's going on? He said, read above, though, for my previous message, Blue. Okay. Well, I can't go that far on this. Oh, he said the Patron and Jameson don't play nice together? Oh, for sure. Absolutely not. Yeah, it was, Tani Marie. It sure was. Yeah, I got plum jelly. Yep, that's what I eat. So I think I'm gonna have me a nice PB&J, man, and watch some Raising Kanan with my son. Search for some more news to put out, and head to the sack. But I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Is Kurt coming tomorrow, James Silver? We got to play it by air. Hopefully he's feeling better. So if he's feeling good, yep. He said people would sleep on the couches and at their tables. Unbelievable. Unreal. Yeah, let me get out of here, though, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Do me a favor, man. Smash the like button. Get the likes up to 600. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue. Zave Combs, my brother in the super chat once again. Before you go, what you think about Mikey Garcia avoiding Regis Prograis? I understand it. Mix 1609, what's going on? I understand uh, um, him doing it because he's been out the ring for a while, and Regis Prograis may not be the guy you want to come straight back out of if you've been on a long, extensive layoff. Remember, he had that loss to Errol Spence, and then he fought uh, uh, Jesse Vargas. He didn't look good in that fight with Jesse Vargas. Uh, uh, um, and he hasn't been active since. So a tune-up is suffice for Mikey Garcia. I don't like the fact that he made it seem like he wanted to fight Regis Prograis, right? Because if this was Manny Pacquiao, would you have took a tune-up fight first? No. So he fought Jesse Vargas February 2020, and prior to that, he fought. So Mikey Garcia in 3 years only fought twice. He's only fought twice in 3 years. So I understand. And one was the loss to Errol Spence and a tough fight with Jesse Vargas. So I understand. But the fact that he made it seem like, oh, I'm negotiating with Regis and that's a fight that I want, so on and so forth. Well, Regis is willing to make the fight. You was going to fight Manny Pacquiao. You wasn't going to ask for no tune-up. So why are you asking Regis for a tune-up? You understand what I'm saying? That's what I don't like. You see what I'm saying? But, to each his own. That's what I think about that. I understand it, but don't act like, see, this is where you mislead the fans. You acting like you want to make these big fights happen, and you in the public saying, oh, you want to fight Regis, and if you don't fight Regis, Regis a great fight and y'all negotiating, but all along that you're not planning to fight Regis Prograis. Rampage Jackson, what's going on? So why pretend to? That's my thing. So let me get out of here. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV. Jesus Valdez Carranza, what's going on? Mark Stern, my brother, what's going on? Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Roll, man. Do me a favor, go over to my brother Fred, Barbershop Conversations. Check out my brother Fred, Barbershop Conversations, man. And his show, I'm gonna be tuned into that. I'm gonna probably tune into that first or watch a replay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and watch this Raising Canaan. Upload some videos for y'all. Some content for you. And that's it. But I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Oh, man, I left my bike out here getting soaking wet, man. Oh, man. Forgot to cover my bike, man. Left my baby out here getting soaking wet. Look, y'all. The mist, the dew, the night dew. Ah, man. Wow. The night dew. Ah, man. Hey, can you can one of y'all pass me a towel? Yeah, cause I forgot I didn't cover my bike and left it out there with the night dew, soaking wet, man.